Welcome back to another edition of the MO-Wiff 3 Up, 3 Down podcast. As always, I'm your host, Cam Smith, and I'm joined again, as always, by Adam North. Adam, how you doing today, man?
Good man. Ready to talk some whiffs all
Yeah,
again.
absolutely, man. Gotta love it every time.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, man. This is we're getting close to the draft. We're getting close to everything. We had a very exciting episode planned for everybody. But Missouri weather likes to change all the time and kind of threw a wrench in our plans. So we had to reschedule our spring training tryout event. So we won't be able to talk about that today like we had planned, but we're still gonna put on a good show for you, hopefully. And we'll start off. Since we're not gonna talk about spring training. We don't have a lot of else going on, so we're gonna start with a little story time, and then tell you guys a little story about me and Adam, and then we'll uh, we'll dive into our draft, and that'll kind of be our big topic today. Is how the draft will work, and our kind of thoughts on it. We did post the draft order a couple of days ago. So that's exciting. If you haven't seen that, go check it out on all of our social media pages. And then we'll wrap up with a great interview we actually did the other day with Andrew Nichols. So definitely stick around and find out more about the MO-Wiff Thunderbirds and Andrew Nichols. All right, Adam, you ready?
Yep. Let's get into it.
All right, man. Let's get into the first segment. We got a little story time since the weather killed our plans. But if I do want to first start off with the weather here. It's Missouri.
Yep.
It's one day like today. It's 50 degrees, almost 60 degrees, and yesterday there was my whole entire driveway was covered in ice.
Yeah.
Like I could slide down my driveway yesterday morning, and today I can wear a t-shirt outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It
this is
happens all
crazy.
so fast. It was like on the Wednesday night when we were supposed to have our spring training event. There were guys at the I was working from home, but there were guys I work with that were at the office, and they were like, "Yeah, it's starting to ice." And then they looked outside like 20 minutes later, and it was already like covered the parking lot. It was just
Yeah.
covered. It was so bad already. It was so crazy.
Yeah, and it sucks that we had to cancel. Everyone was kind of looking forward to seeing all the new players and some of the old players.
Yep.
But that's how it goes here in Missouri, and
Yep.
you know, hopefully that doesn't transfer over to April when we start playing, but we will see.
Yep.
Uh,
For sure.
so I wanted to just get a little bit of the first segment here, and tell everybody a little bit of story. Since we have some time, maybe kind of how you and I met. And Adam, you wanna start off by telling everybody kind of where we met first, long before Whiffs.
Yeah, so back in high school when I was playing summer ball for an organization called the Stallions, I played in Slava League. Josh was my head coach my first couple of years, and then I actually had to miss my sophomore year because I had Tommy John surgery. So then junior year, coming off Tommy John surgery, recovering from that, we actually had a new assistant coach, and that was Cam Smith. So went into kind of didn't know how my arm was going to be. Went into the season, finally fully recovered and met Cam Smith, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so you actually, when you were a freshman, I was supposed to be the assistant coach,
Really, I didn't know that.
and that's when I joined the Marine Corps. So the first summer, I was at boot camp.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually gone. I didn't get back till late in the fall. So I came around for a couple of games just to hang out. But then
Mm-hmm.
when your sophomore season was up, I was actually uh, I was helping Josh the whole time.
Okay.
So I was the assistant there. Uh, we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun. But man, that the next two seasons, when we got you back, we had a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
um, but I there's one particular story from our time with the Stallions that that really sticks out in my mind. I actually still have the game ball that you guys gave me for my first ever like technical head coaching win. Josh Rogers, the commissioner of our league, who was actually both of our head coaches at one point,
Yep.
uh, he got kicked out of a game in the first inning. And You were on the mound,
Yep.
and um, Cole actually, my brother and Cole Layton, for everybody, he was um, I think he was on first, and maybe he was stealing. I don't remember how. He was going to second, and he slid, and the runner or the fielder threw the ball and like hit Cole's helmet with his hand. The umpire, I think, called everybody. I don't even remember. It was a ridiculous play
Yeah,
that
it was.
shouldn't have happened. And Josh argued and argued and argued, and he got kicked out. And we did not have another assistant that game. It was just me and Josh that game. Um, and I think it was kind of late in a tournament anyway, where we were kind of like kicked out
Yeah.
or whatever. Because I think it was our last game either way.
Mhm. It was.
Because I remember going on vacation right after that.
Yep.
Um, but he gets kicked out, and I'm like, oh man, we're in the first inning of a game. Like, I have no clue what to do right now. this is, I mean, this is my first experience, like being the only person in the dugout. I got to go coach third base now. Like, what? This is crazy. And I don't even remember. I know we were down in that game early on when
Mhm.
in that first inning. Um, do you remember any like
Yeah, so
what the kind of
I
score
remember
was?
at that time in my career, I was infamous for letting up first inning runs. For whatever reason, after Tommy John surgery, I just always gave up first. I was fine the rest of the game, and then first inning, I always gave up runs. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we were down a couple runs, but I do remember locking down the rest of the game. I don't think I pitched the whole game, probably a couple more innings, and then
No.
somebody came back in. But
Well,
um,
I know I had Dale Dick warming up because he was like, I can pitch. I got this. I'm fine. And Josh texts me from the parking lot. He's like, is that Dale warming up? No, he pitched yesterday. And I'm like, dude, we got this. Don't worry.
I forgot about
I
that. That
don't
was fun.
he didn't come in to pitch, but I ended up putting somebody else in, and we closed the game out and we got a win, and it was
Yeah,
so cool. And yeah, you guys gave me the game ball, which I still have. I wrote on it. I have the date. I don't
I
know where
love
it's
that.
at. It's somewhere in my probably basement with all my baseball stuff, but
Love that.
it was just super cool. And one of the stories that really just sticks out of my mind when in my whole entire coaching career, honestly. So it was
Yeah.
just cool that you were on the mound that game,
Hmm.
and we really got to stick out this friendship from it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are playing wiffle ball years later.
yeah, who would have thought, right?
Yeah,
Who would have
exactly.
thought? So nothing too crazy, but just to kill another segment here, I thought it was a good time to bring up a story and bring up old times. So that was fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my
So
favorite memories for sure.
absolutely. So now we'll definitely get into our biggest topics so far on this podcast, from all of our episodes, is our draft.
Yep.
We are just, I think, like 2 weeks away from today, it's Sunday when we're recording this here. 2 weeks from today
Isn't it?
will be our draft. Is it 2 weeks?
I think it's next week.
No, it's 2 weeks. 13th,
You're right. You're right. You're right.
March 13th. uh so 2 weeks away. This episode will come out on Tuesday, so a little less than 2 weeks for everybody listening. But I don't know about you,
Yeah.
man. I am just super excited. I think this is going to be a great event and something that we have a chance to do something really special with the draft.
Yeah. Now I'm even more antsy because I thought it was next week.
Yeah,
Got
there you
my days turned around.
go. Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, we did change things up from last year. We took out, or since we added two teams, we kind of took all of our players and kind of threw them into a pool. Each team had the option to keep one player from last year's roster. Five of the six of us kept a player from last year. The Empire were the only team not to. They lost their top pitcher Jordan Smith to the Archers, and Josh having uh, some elbow pain. He's kind of doesn't know how much he'll be able to throw this year. So he decided not to take anyone, to maybe try to get a pitcher that he can kind of replace, maybe even himself. Hopefully he can pitch a little bit, but we'll see. So the Archers, the Thunderbirds, and the Empire all will have a first round pick, and then every other team, including those three, were thrown into a bucket, and we just drew randomly to select the draft order. And Adam, what was kind of your thought process on how we kind of came up with that? Like, what did you think about pulling the random order?
Yeah, I think it was a great idea. I mean, obviously those three teams need the first round picks because they need those compensation picks because the other teams got to, have a keeper. So it just makes sense to let those three go first, and then yeah, I think at that point everybody's even. So everybody's got their keeper, or they got a first one of the top three picks in the draft. So making everybody
Exactly.
else random throughout the rest of the draft has just made sense. I think it's a perfect solution to get some even talent across the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be perfect. Um, I think there's definitely a few teams that are in really good positions. I think there's a couple that are, not too happy with where they're at, but in reality, I mean, it's going to be pretty even throughout. So I don't
Yep,
think anyone's in a terrible position to say anything. But
agreed.
um, we'll talk about the draft order here, and then kind of what we kind of think about it. So like I said, the expansion draft is going to start with the Archers. They get the number one overall pick. I've been talking to Josh, to Cole, Sam. Like we've been talking to a lot of guys about what we kind of think who's gonna be the first pick, who's gonna be the second pick. I mean, like nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like this is so wide open. There's a lot of guys that the talent, a lot of guys are really good, and it's just kind of it really just depends on who's going to fit on what team, I think. But
Hmm.
the Archers get that number one pick. The Thunderbirds and Andrew Nichols will get that second pick, and then Josh Rogers and the Empire will take that third pick of that expansion draft order. So then once those three picks are complete, every team will have two players on their rosters, so their first pick and their captain, and then we'll start our regular draft, and it'll start with the Mambas. Adam, what do you think about the Mambas getting that first pick?
I think that they are going to be dangerous because so Cole announced that he is keeping Jackson Crosley, and that's already a dangerous team with Cole and Jackson. They can both hit, they can both pitch. They have the groundwork for an amazing team. So that uh, fourth overall first pick of the second round is going to be insane for them. That they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, when he loses Collins or Weller from last year, and now he gets a chance to add
Yeah,
another great player. So definitely I think the best position of anyone in this draft
I agree.
because of his starting two already.
Yep.
So in that first three picks, the Archers, Thunderbirds, and Empire, my guess would be they have to go after a pitcher because everybody needs two pitchers.
Yep.
Cole already has two pitchers,
Exactly. So
so
he can just.
he can go after the best hitter.
Yep.
He can go after if he wants to grab another pitcher to maybe take it away from somebody else. Like he's in a really good position to kind of get whatever he wants.
Yep.
Uh, so very very nervous and excited to see what Cole does with that first pick of that in that second round. But
Hmm.
I don't know, man. That team is going to be dangerous for sure.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
agree.
already with Cole and Jackson, but now on top of that first pick. And then the fifth pick overall, so second pick of the second round is your team, Adam, the Pilots. How do you feel about having that pick?
I mean, I can't complain at all. It's
Yeah,
second pick in the second round and fifth overall. I mean, I'm expecting to get a pretty solid player out of that, and really excited for the spring training event to see who those top five players even are going to be. I mean, we don't know a whole
exactly.
lot about some of these new players. We know some of them. We got a pretty good idea of some of them, but can't wait to see like the talent that's there. If there is even four or five two-way players that'll even make it to my spot, or who knows, So
Yeah,
um,
I was
really
talking
interested
to
to see what we got.
Josh. I was talking to Josh yesterday, and he was just listing all the guys that said on their registration form that they can pitch, and I was like, okay, like I didn't know that guy pitched because like I've never seen him before. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting. Hopefully, they can make it out to the spring training, and we can see them throw a little bit because
Yep,
you never know. There could be a guy like Jordan Smith, maybe just
exactly.
needs a little bit of help, and we can kind of see that, and then pick him up early on our team, but we'll see. Yeah, very exciting. And you're definitely in a great position. I would say, right under Cole, you're in a great position because you already have a number one pitcher in Brett. And, you could, I think you'll have a way better season on the mound than you did last year. So, having that fifth overall pick, you can really maybe find someone that pitches a little bit. I mean, you've had Mark last year, who at the beginning we didn't know really could throw, and
Yep.
then he kind of developed. So maybe that can happen again. And
Mhm.
he was a good hitter for you. So I don't know if Mark will be available for you,
I
but
know.
I feel like he's high on a lot of people's list. But you're in a good position. Maybe he does fall to you, but
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
see. Definitely interesting. And then after you, the Empire will get the sixth overall pick. So they have two picks out of the first six of this new draft, but they don't have anyone from last year. So um, the two picks definitely huge for Josh.
Mhm.
It'd be very interesting to see what he does. I personally have no idea who he's going to take.
Yeah.
It's just
That's what's
I
really fun about this year because I really don't know who anybody's gonna take.
no,
It's really up in the air, and then that's what makes this draft so exciting. Is there's so much talent that we haven't seen yet, and so much talent that is there that I mean, who knows even who wants? It's
yeah,
crazy. So many
exactly. I mean,
so many captains put value in different positions and different things.
yeah, and just how you fit with the person, and
Right.
maybe you played with them last year, or you just
Hmm.
hung out with them last year, and everyone got so much better last year too that it's like, man, I feel like when I'm looking at this free agent list, I'm like, man, a lot of these guys are you can pick somebody in the first round with the like this pick with a sixth pick, and then the guy that's the 13th, 14th pick, they're like the same like caliber player.
Yeah.
So it's very going to be like interesting to see because one guy I think could go six to the Empire, but ends up going 10 to the Thunderbird.
Yep.
You just have no idea. So
Hmm.
it'll be very interesting to see. And hopefully, we have a good turnout and everyone's there. So, but we'll talk about that at the end here.
Yep.
Um, After the Empire, we have my team, the defending champions, Bombers. Um, I'm
Had to throw them in
excited for
there.
this pick. Yeah, I definitely had to. Always, always. Uh, very excited for this pick. And like I said, I have no idea um, who's going to be available. I have my eye on a couple guys, but I have no idea. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm really excited to see who kind of shows up to the spring training event, so I can see guys. I know guys have been working, so and very excited and itching to get out there. So I'm excited to see that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I'm gonna need a second pitcher because I don't have one right now. It's just me and Jake. So uh, it is tough being the seventh pick and still needing a number two pitcher.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I think there's some guys out there that definitely have the potential to do so, and maybe they'll learn a little bit and you know maybe pick up a little bit like Andrew kind of did last year. So we'll
He's not a
see.
pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. So after myself, the Archers have the eighth pick. So Jordan has that first overall pick, and then doesn't have another pick until the eighth overall pick. Um, so that'd be good for Jordan, because I think he will have two good pitchers from having that number one pick, and then he can kind of go after anybody here in this with this pick. So I think he's in a good position. What do you kind of think for
Yeah.
Jordan?
Absolutely. I mean, our team, our league is not going to be like the top 10 players are just so much better than everybody else that it hurts to fall this far. But like you said, he's getting the first overall pick and then another top 10 guy that he can add to his team. And even with his other two picks, I mean, he's going to be in a great position to build a pretty solid team. He's going to be one of the best
Absolutely.
pitchers in the league, and he's going to get the number one overall pick. So this eighth pick will just add to that. So
Yeah, definitely huge for him. Definitely exciting to see what that team can do. Um, we'll see. First time captain Jordan, so maybe he's got a little bit of pressure in the draft. Who knows? But I
yeah,
think he'll do a great job for sure.
agreed.
And then the Mojo come in with the ninth overall pick of the draft. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the sixth pick of the second round, but ninth overall, Mojo. And I think this is probably I feel I don't necessarily feel bad. I think they're still in a good spot, especially, with a couple turnaround picks and having the MVP already on their team. But um, it does it does hurt them a little bit having a late first round pick
Hmm.
because Sam is a good pitcher, but you need a second pitcher, and like I said, I feel I was like, Man, 7 is going to be tough to get a real solid number 2, I think, but the mojo at 9. What do you think their chances are of getting a pitcher that low? Which definitely could happen, and we could definitely see it. But
Yeah, it can definitely happen, and like you said, guys improved last year, and there were guys that snuck through the second, third rounds last year that ended up being pitchers. Like Mark was one for sure.
true.
I don't think Ryan for Doug last year was picked very high. He was one of, I mean, he was good. I mean, he
Yeah,
had a
he
very
was.
similar pitching style to Brett and performed really well.
You're right. He was actually. I remember he was Doug's third pick.
Yeah.
So out of the 4 rounds last year, he was a third round pick,
Yep.
and he found a great pitcher there. So Doug's definitely got an eye for talent, and if anyone can do it, it's Doug.
For sure.
And I think that could actually put them in a really good position. And I think that there's more pitchers out there than we think.
Yeah.
As
Exactly.
of right now, we don't see it, but talking to Josh yesterday, there are more guys that throw. I think there will be some pitchers left over here, and hopefully, hopefully they do get somebody good. And because Sam had that MVP season last year, so I know, and they finished second. It'll be fun to watch them again. Hopefully, they can build off of that second place finish last year and put out another good run this year.
For sure.
And then right after that, we have the Thunderbirds. And Andrew's in a good position here. He has that number 2 overall pick, and then he has the 10th overall pick here. Um, and it'll be interesting to see, because he'll have 2 good pitchers already, so he can kind of go after, kind of whatever he wants here. And so he's in a good position. And then that would leave the last pick of that second round with the Melonheads. What do you kind of think about those two rounding out the draft in that
Yeah.
second round?
Yeah, and I think both of them are. I mean, everybody has at this point. They either got a really good competition pick or they got a really good keeper. Same with these two teams. Andrew's going to get a great pick with the second overall pick in the compensation round, and Jason gets to keep Spencer Bogat. So they both have great foundation for whoever they end up, whoever falls to this far down in the draft. And it's not even far. We're still in basically the first round of the draft. So there's still going to be
Yeah.
great talent to pick up for that third player. And like you said, I think we're underestimating how many pitchers are going to be available at this point, and I think they can
Yeah.
both, if they need one or want one, can pick up another pitcher or a great bat at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, at my first thought when Spencer or when sorry, Spencer, when the Melonheads got that last pick, um, was, oh man, like that sucks, having the last pick. But honestly, after talking, I talked to Sam, and I was talking to Cole, um, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, you know what? They're actually in a really good position. They already have their 2 pitchers. I would say them and the Mambas have right now, before we start the draft, have the best starting pitching staff, a 1-2 staff out of anyone in the league.
Agreed.
Because I don't have a second pitcher. You're still working,
Mm-hmm.
but
To be
getting better.
determined.
Exactly. The Empire don't have a second pitcher right now. Mojo don't have a second pitcher. So it's like, man, those 2 teams really had a leg up having 2 pitchers, the captain and their keeper.
Right.
And now the Melonheads get, the 11th overall pick in this draft and the 12th pick. So they get 2 picks back to back. There's going to be some really good players available here. And, they get 2 of them back to back. So I think that's going to put them in a really good position.
Mm-hmm.
And then also for the Thunderbirds, having the 10th and 13th pick, like that's huge for them too. So, for anyone who doesn't know, it is a snake draft after that second round. So once we all have those, everyone gets the picks. The first I was 18, our 8 teams get the picks. It'll wrap back around. So the Melonheads will start off round 3, and then it'll be Thunderbirds, Mojo, Archers, Bombers, Empire, Pilots, and then Mambas. And then it'll snake right back around to finish off that last round. and there'll be 27 total picks. So quite a few picks. Not as many. We'll have 40 total players, but 27 picks in this draft. Um, Adam, what do you think, man? What do you like? We kind of talked about it. Where we thought what we thought about each team, but who do you kind of think won the draft picks? Like who has the best spots and who's kind of set up to have a really good draft?
So we already kind of touched on it. I think the Mambas are in one of the best positions you can be in with Jackson and Cole as the core pitchers for that team and two great hitters. Um, but I also think that the Archers are going to be in a great spot. Jordan's going to be a top pitcher again next year, and he has a chance to go get the other top pitcher in the league, whoever it may be. Might be a new player, might be somebody that's fallen off another team. So I think he's in a great spot. And like you said, I think also the Melonheads are in a great spot because they've already got that pitching duo, and they're going to get basically they're late first round picks, but pretty much two first round picks because it's the snake draft style and they get back to back picks. So I think they're in a great spot as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I had the Mambas and the Melonheads definitely in good positions. Which is funny that they're on the opposite ends. First and last pick.
Right.
And somebody that I didn't even think about was the Archers, but now that you say that, man, it really does put them in a good position. And I would also say your team is in a good position because you're going to get that 5th overall pick, and you're going to have a good list of guys to choose from, and it'll be interesting to see where you want to go and who you want to pick up, and dude, I don't know, man. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I don't think really anyone's in a tough position. I think the one team, like I said, the Mojo kind of
Mm-hmm.
having that late first round pick, but then getting that second round pick, they get 9 and 14, and I think that'll end up turning out to be a good roster for them. Having the MVP already is
Yeah.
is good. So you can't really say they're in a terrible position, but
And Doug
um,
has eyes this year. You got
yeah,
to see.
yeah, exactly. And, hey, Doug was one of like 3 or 4 people to have a hit off me last year.
Yeah.
So, um, but
Without
Doug
eyes.
is exactly, and Doug is a great captain. Definitely has an eye for finding good players and
Yep.
and finding good matchups. And there's a reason why the Mojo were the runners up last year, and actually I think they ended the regular season the number 1 overall seed,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for that, and because Doug does a great job with their team and their roster. So
For sure.
definitely interesting, definitely exciting. I am just so ready for this to be here. um yeah, and we hit on it earlier, but March 13th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we are going to be at Barrel's Tap House doing a live draft. And Adam, I don't know about you, but I am probably more excited to see what we can kind of do with this video. I'm probably just as equally excited as I am for the actual draft. I think this is going to be a really good opportunity for us. Uh, Hopefully, all of our players uh, will come. I know I talked to Josh yesterday, and so far, I think it's 17 out of the 40 total players already are committed that said they will be there.
Nice.
Um, so no one has said no yet, but there are some people that have not responded in that Google Doc yet. So we'll see, but hopefully everybody can make it out. Are you excited for this
I'm
for the event?
I'm stoked. I think it'll be so cool. Last year was so much fun, and we didn't even have anybody in attendance. So just adding um, that group of people to cheer on people that get picked, or even bring people up when they get picked, and have them shown on screen for the live stream. It'll be really cool to have that environment to put this draft on in.
Yeah, and for anyone who's not able to make it, from our player pool, and then any of our fans that want to watch too, we will be doing the draft live. It'll probably be on our Facebook page. Um, we have some new things that we're working on this season for our live stream for our games. We're going to kind of test it out at the draft, and we're going to have multiple different camera angles set up. We'll have one on Josh the commissioner, where each captain will come up and announce the pick. We'll have a camera on them, and then we'll have a camera probably on like the crowd area with all of our players. We'll kind of flash them every once in a while, and then we are going to have an analysis booth, and Sam Skivvy is going to be our draft. I don't
Analyst.
know, analyst. I was like, God, I'm losing it here. He'll be our draft yeah,
Analyst.
whatever. Analyst. I keep wanting to say analysis, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But so Sam will be doing that, and I'm really excited. Sam is very knowledgeable with his wiffle ball background, and he's going to be a great addition to our team to help really produce something fun here for everybody in the league. And I think it's going to be just a fun event. And man, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, and like you said, once somebody gets drafted, hopefully, maybe they'll come up and we'll shake the captain's hand or whatever. Maybe we'll take a picture, and kind of like the NFL draft and have a lot of fun with it. We'll probably be drinking a little bit and then after each pick, if that player that gets drafted or the captain want to go over to Sam Skibby in the booth and talk about the pick and kind of what their thought process was of why they signed that person, or how excited they are, whatever. I think that's going to be really cool, and I think we have a really good opportunity to build a great draft video that not many wiffle ball leagues have done before. So hopefully everybody comes out and makes this event as special as we think it's going to be. And man, I just can't tell you how I can't say it enough that I'm just so excited for this draft.
Yeah, me too. It's like I said, last year was a blast, and this year it should just be even so much better. We're so much more prepared, and we've got so much more planned, and I think it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that's going into this. I mean, we've done a lot of planning, a lot of prep work, and we still have a lot to do. We have 2 weeks left to prepare, and me and Josh already started getting stuff ready yesterday. So I mean, well, we've been getting stuff ready for weeks now, but now we're getting down to those little details. So very excited. Can't wait. And man, I'm just, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Interesting to see who's gonna go where and what we can kind of do with this. So great opportunity. Very excited again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and on top of all the excitement, I mean, there's a draft going on. There's talent to be picked. That's probably the
Exactly.
most exciting part.
Yo, exactly. So super, super ready for that. We're 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away now, but we will get there when we get there. And hopefully, me and you kind of talked about this. We'll see if it works, but for our next episode, we're gonna try to do it'll probably be a shorter episode, but we're gonna try, if we have time and if it's not too crazy, to maybe do a live podcast from the draft and do a quick draft analysis recap, to kind of get an inside scoop of the draft, and then we'll go back to our normal episodes after that. But we'll see. It'll be a short turnaround, but it just kind of depends on the time. But definitely very exciting for that as well.
Yep, for sure.
So, all right, now we're gonna take a second here, and I'm gonna put in our interview with Andrew Nichols from the MO-Wiff Thunderbirds. All right, we're here for our third and final segment of the day. It is our favorite time, our interview time, and we have a very special guest with us today. He is the captain of the newly formed Thunderbirds, Andrew Nichols. Andrew, how are you doing, my man?
Good, boys. How you doing tonight?
Lovely. Little disappointed that we didn't get to see each other tonight, but you know, it's all right. Weather in Missouri is a lovely thing.
Classic Missouri weather.
Man, thanks for hopping on here with us. One of the guys I wanted to get to first to talk about that. I feel like there's a lot to dive into. Being a captain of the new team. But we're gonna start with last year. And last year was a big year for you. We're gonna start before everything kind of ended. When you first came on with the Bombers, uh, what was kind of your thought process? Because you came in a little bit late in the season. I had a guy that kind of fell out, and I had to find a replacement. And I mean, I picked the right guy. But what was kind of your first kind of thoughts in your first couple weeks of playing?
Uh, just to get the speed back. My timing was off for feels like the first 2 weeks because I'm used to playing softball now. That's all I play. Then coming in facing that, timing was off, but got it back
Yeah,
after a few weeks.
yeah, I definitely could tell that first couple weeks you didn't really have it, but man, towards the end of the year, man, you really picked it up. Um, Talk about the pitching difference. You started off, first couple games. I think your first game pitching was against the Empire and against Sam. I think Sam had 3 home
Oh,
runs off of you in that first game. What kind of changed from your first couple of starts to the end of the season where you were just on fire on the mound?
I found a second pitch to throw. No, the first,
And how
the
did
first two
how'd you come
weeks,
up with that too?
you,
Yeah,
you,
I mean, I
the
wasn't trying to
first,
get that. I was just saying,
no, the first game, all I threw was risers, and I mean, it doesn't take much. Guys picked up on that real easy for me. They started whacking me around. Then
yeah, Sam can do
me
that.
and me and Cam were texting back and forth. You were just telling me, hey, this is how you throw this, how you throw that. So I took 4 Cameron's balls in my backyard and just practiced every day, basically.
Yeah, see, and I think that's one good thing a lot of guys will have started doing. I know Paul took a bunch home with him over the off season, and he was working. I've seen Nick Bone working. I know a lot of guys are kind of doing the same thing, so picking up right where you did, and I think that's going to show big time.
Oh yeah, it helps.
Yeah, and I mean, picking up that second pitch, man, it really did change. You went
Oh,
from a one pitch pitcher to throwing two, even three, and that led to an All Star appearance. It led to the Bombers making a great run in the postseason and eventually winning the championship. And I'll say firsthand, without you, man, we would not have won that championship. I mean, that was a hell of a series that you put on against the Empire, and that was huge. But and now that's kind of where I want to go next. Like, let's talk about that series against the Empire because
uh,
wow, I mean, you put on a show on the mound against them. You threw.
too many
Most
innings. Too many.
you did. The first game you pitched against them, you pitched the whole game. I came in extras.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we ended up losing that game. But man, game 3 with it all on the line, you and Josh back and forth. Talk about what kind of happened in that game, because I honestly that game really sealed the deal on our season.
Yeah, that last game, man, that was just me and Rogers just not giving in, even though our
Yeah,
arms were basically falling off. But
because me and Jordan were not available to pitch in that game, so it was just you two back and forth, and we knew both of you guys' arms were tired in the end of the game, and you guys still back
uh,
to back, like just shutting people down.
well, you know how games kind of play out. You can kind of see it happening.
Yeah.
After about third or fourth inning, you can see where it was going. And me and you both said it. I think at the 12th inning, I looked at you and said, dude, I can't go much longer. Because I think I was over 200 pitches.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I mean, I knew it. You were telling me, and I was like, man, I was like, you gotta
You
just give us one more. Like, you get us one
you,
more, we'll win this game. And then I
God,
felt like we
you can
kept
probably see
having
it
to
on
say
that video.
that.
You could probably see us on the video talk on the mound. It was like, I can't go much longer.
Yeah,
But
and I think Josh had that same feeling. I mean, you guys both just battled. It was a hell of a game. Both
it
of you
was,
guys deserved it, but uh,
no, we deserve that more.
yeah, I mean, hey, but
Little biased.
yeah, just a little bit, just a
Just a
little
tiny
bit.
bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, all that from the start of the season, to the end of it, you really showed a big improvement. I think you even got some votes for most improved player, which Adam, you won. Congrats again.
Yeah,
Thank
congrats,
you.
buddy.
Well deserved.
Absolutely.
But you got an All-Star appearance, and you were the All-Star game MVP. And I think all 3 of us were there. Adam, you got a pinch hit home run in that game too.
Yeah.
What was kind of your thoughts on the All-Star game? I mean, you really
Uh,
showed out and I think the most fun game of the whole season for everybody. But you just had a blast and really showed it at the plate.
I was about to say, That was just a bunch of guys hanging out, having a good time. Just that was fun from the start to finish. The home run derby was great. I think I finished second in that or something like that. But then,
Yeah, I know Cole won. I think it was you. Was it you, Sam, and Cole in the
yeah,
finals?
it was us three, and I know Cole won. I didn't know, but
Yeah,
from the start to the All-Star game, that was just fun. Just giving it to each other back and forth. But it was fun.
yeah,
I
it
was
was
locked
definitely
in.
something special. It was something special to watch. I've watched that game probably 5 or 6 times. Just it's something easy to put on when I'm in here playing PlayStation, and it's just
Oh
like
yeah.
I love watching that and hearing you talk trash to Josh and and everybody else.
Let's make that perfectly clear. He started that.
Yeah, he's known for that.
But
Adam,
no,
you can attest with the dingers.
Yeah, absolutely.
no, that was besides the championship, that was the most fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, it was definitely a blast. I mean, and all those things coming from last year. What was kind of your favorite moment out of all those? Favorite memory, favorite moment. There's a lot to pick from. In that big first season from you.
Yeah, I mean, when I finally figured out pitching, I think it was against Adam's team. When I finally figured it out,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorites. But I got to go with that 13 inning game.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
that was good, man. The stakes
Yeah,
were high, and you couldn't mess up once because the bases were loaded. And
exactly.
we went 13 innings without walking someone with the bases loaded.
Yeah, which is insane. I mean, that is just
Yeah.
crazy. Or someone even getting a hit. You guys are
Yeah,
tired. I mean, that's a dogfight.
Well, it was to the point where me and Josh were basically throwing one pitch and nobody could hit it still.
Yeah, yep. That was your favorite memory. What I'm gonna like my favorite memory. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up here.
You're
My
good, buddy.
favorite memory from playing with you this past year, and I'm gonna miss more than anything next year is our handshakes. I don't know if everyone like if you watch the Bombers videos at the end of every win, we do the jumping high five at the end of the game. Jason's done a good job of putting that in and even zooming in on it on a couple games.
Yeah, you did.
And then after either one of us hit a home run, we have a different handshake, and that's just something that we've done forever. I mean, started in I think in high school, and our friend Mike's cul-de-sac when we were playing wiffle ball back there, and then brought it to Yellow Bats, and now we're doing it here, and it's gonna suck not having that on my team anymore. But
that's gonna be awkward when we win a game and we can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So now I gotta look for somebody else to do that with. Me and Jake have our handshake, but we definitely had our big loud ones, and I really loved it.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was when John Jay and Matt Holiday.
Exactly, John Jay, Matt Holiday, baby.
That.
We did. I love it. See, it's always something with the Cardinals. I love it. Now, maybe there is a chance to team up again in the future. Do you have any plans to, maybe play with MO-Wiff and one of these national teams? We're doing a couple. I might have to send you the dates, but I mean, do you have any interest in doing a national tournament with
Well,
MO-Wiff?
I got interest, yeah, for sure.
All right. There's there's 3
different. Just gotta kind of make these days work out.
Yeah, there's 3 different ones that we do.
Most of my vacation days.
You know what? And I totally forgot. I wanted to start off this show by saying, man, congrats to you and Brooke having another little baby on the way. Can't wait for the gender reveal.
That's gonna be good. I appreciate that, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, dude, it would be definitely exciting to see, if and when you can show your talents out nationally, because I think you definitely are going to be a good guy for MO-Wiff to bring along. We brought a couple teams last year and kind of showed the rest of the country what MO-Wiff players have to offer, and you're definitely one of the top up there with the rest of the guys. So it'll be interesting to see for sure.
I mean, I watched every game out there, and I want to go. So hopefully it can just work out with everything.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of interest in bringing Andrew last year. Unfortunately, the dates just didn't work out for him to UFs, but we definitely would have loved to have him there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys told me with like less than a month left.
Yeah, it was
we put it all together last minute.
We got a lot more time this year to plan that out, so we'll definitely, hopefully, we can work that out.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and Andrew, talking about next year, now that we've gotten all the memories out of the way with the Bombers and your guys' great season, we can put that behind us. But so talk about your inspiration for the Thunderbirds and how you kind of came up with that team name.
I'm a love fighter jets, love jets, airplanes. I mean, I work for an airline, so grew up
Sure.
with it my whole life. Love, and I remember when I was a kid out in Vegas, we always go to those Thunderbird shows. They were great. So Thunderbirds are just like the Blue Angels, just like jets flying around doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I grew up loving them. And in my logo, you can still see the F-16s right in the middle. That was like my main concept of you got to have the F-16 Thunderbirds in there.
Yeah, that's really cool. Those air shows, I've been to a few air shows before. They're definitely really cool to watch. So you can definitely say I could seek inspiration there for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now that you are a captain of a team, what are you looking forward to about building your own franchise and kind of leading a team now that you have your own?
Just put my own flair on it. Looking for my guys. I mean, everybody looks at someone different, looks at a player a different way, what they do. So put my own kind of spin on a team. We might not be the prettiest, but we're going to be good.
And you do have this second pick in the draft. We did come up with that earlier today, so that'll be that's a good start, you know. And then you do have one of the last picks in that second round, but you know, you get to turn it around in the round after that right away with the second pick in that round. So
that makes it better. I get the second pick, but then I get 2 back-to-back picks, so
right,
all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta make that first pick count, though.
Absolutely. You know, and keeping on that last year trend too, you know, is there anything that you're looking for as like a player, like for you as a player, like in this upcoming season? Like, are you excited to like learn more? You feel like you're gonna have a better season now that you get a whole season under your plate? What kind of you thinking there?
I mean, I'm excited for the new season because last season I came back and I felt like I was getting in the groove of things. And Brooke and Austin got COVID, and that put me out another week, and it feels like I got put behind again. But new year, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that extra strike. That's going to be nice. Because I mean, I'm already an aggressive hitter. I love if it's close, I'm swinging. Cam, you know that. I told you that so many times. Cam told me to take half the time. I'm like, nope. If it's close, I'm swinging. But
hey, it worked out.
Well, no, that extra strike, man. I mean, now you can sit on a certain pitch. You're not behind. Feels like there's going to be more offense this year, and I think that's what people want.
Absolutely.
So
for sure.
That's great. That lob pitch is going to be fun. Keeps the defense on their toes. Keeps everybody involved. I mean, Cam, when you're pitching, I could basically sit down and we're fine.
Hey, we tried that in the All-Star game with Josh.
Only for Rogers, though. Only for Rogers.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, though.
Oh, for sure. So
that absolutely. You know, now we've kind of done this with our prior guests with Josh and Jordan. We're gonna come up. We had this last little segment. You know, for everybody listening, you know, we need a name for this segment. It's kind of the same list of questions, but it's just kind of a get to know the wiffle ball player in our league. So we need a nice little clever name that we can maybe build in a little intro here for it. But we'll start here. We're just gonna go and find out a little bit more about Andrew Nichols, the wiffle ball player.
God, good luck. I'm the most boring person you probably interview.
Oh,
hey, no, that's all right.
We'll dig in. We'll learn about you.
Absolutely.
So kick us off. Do you believe in superstitions? And if you do, what's your biggest one?
Nah, I'm not a big superstition guy. I've never gotten into that. Never. Feels like if you do, you get in your own head too much. So I never, even with hockey.
I was gonna say, not even in your hockey days.
Players are really superstitious. No, not really. I never because I always thought if I did that, I'd get in my own head, So try to keep that.
If that works for you, man, stick to it.
It's almost more admirable to not be superstitious than it is to be superstitious. That's a lot of self-control.
I would agree. Absolutely. Well, since you don't have a superstition, is there any particular favorite pre-game or maybe a post-game meal that you like to have, or is it just kind of whatever?
I mean, before the game, not really. After the game, I mean, Flying Choice is open, I'll go hit up Lion's Choice. Big
Alright.
Lion's Choice guy.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Hey,
But
Lion's Choice,
before
if
the
you're
game,
listening.
man, before the game, I'm not a big guy. Maybe this little snack, then just head on over to the field. But
Yeah, you don't ever like to play on a full stomach, so
no. I'm mostly into the drinking at the field, so
there you go. There you go.
What's your what bat do you prefer to use? What's your go-to bat?
It's funny because you guys were talking shit on it last time, but that Easton bat,
I know it.
love that Easton bat. You guys had that lower on your last one. I'm here to say nope. That is a great bat.
Is that what you used in the All-Star game?
It is.
That's what I used. I mean, most of the season, especially when I got hot at the end, that's all I was using.
Yeah, I think
All-Star
you had
game, I was
one.
using it.
You had one home run with the moonshot
See,
early on in the season, but
you guys like that. I did not like the moonshot, man.
yeah,
Did
it's
not-
definitely
that's-
takes getting used to.
That thing's too heavy, and it's just, especially with some of the pitching. I mean, you go against Jordan,
Yeah,
and you're trying
Yeah.
to hit that. Good luck.
you got to try this bad boy, the Walk Off Elite, man. It's really light. It is super nice.
Is that the one Jason was using in the All-Star game?
Yes.
Yep.
I might have to mess around with that then.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to try some out, but I think whatever you're comfortable with, man, don't change it.
That's the big thing. That's the thing I was most comfortable with. I mean, I used the moonshot, a few other ones, but always went back to old reliable.
There you go.
And it works.
Hey,
Good work for you.
I know the feeling, man. I got a Louisville Slugger that I'll pull out if I'm in a slump, so I get you. All right, and on the mound, what is your favorite ball to throw? Like, is it a clean, like a brand new clean ball? Is it a scuff ball, or do you like it, cut, maybe a little knife action? What do you like on the mound?
It's the cut.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
that makes my drop go even better.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned your
Love the
drop.
cut.
Is that your favorite pitch? What's your favorite pitch?
oh, it's the drop.
Yeah,
gotta say-
it was fun watching from a
I
lefty.
gotta say that lefty facing that drop is impossible.
Well,
Night-
I got it to the point where I could throw it on righties, and it's kind of like a sink kind of thing right back into them.
Yeah.
So it's, I love it. I'll throw that. That's the pitch I worked on most, and I can throw it anytime, and I feel comfortable with it now.
Yeah, you can definitely tell from just watching game by game how much better it got by the end of the season, and really made you just a deadly pitcher, man. And it's gonna suck having to face you next year.
Yeah, the Dingers literally watched you figure that pitch out mid-game.
Yeah. Like I figured that out. I felt, yeah, Adam, you guys figured that out. When I figured it out, that was
Yeah.
that was not fun for you guys.
No,
The
it
Ding
was not.
squad was quiet that night.
Oh man, that's great. I love that. And this question is probably gonna be my favorite for you. I came up with this question at the beginning of these coming up with this little segment. This question was mainly directed towards you. What particular player or team do you enjoy playing the most?
Well, crap! I came in halfway through the year. It only felt like I played Mojo or Empire most of the games, but he'll go Empire. Rogers.
I loved your guys' back and forths
Well,
throughout the season.
it's just we're all competitors, so I mean, especially that 13-inning game. I mean, me and Rogers, we weren't coming out regardless.
Yeah,
But
and it's
just the
fun.
chirping back and forth. I mean, I love to do it to begin with, but
Yeah, definitely nothing negative though. But that is
oh no,
that is
I got
definitely awesome.
nothing bad to say about Rogers at all. But
Absolutely.
that it's not. He brings the best out in me too because he's a damn good player, and you just want to play the best. So
Yep, absolutely.
you want to be the best, play the best.
Yeah, if
I get it.
You talk to Josh, and he loves it just as much too, and he'll just chirp
yeah.
his back as much as you do. That's why you can tell he likes playing against the Dingers. The Ding squad really got him going, and they go back
It's
and
just
forth.
you feed off it. I mean, it's all fun. I mean, it's all love at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I don't take it home with me at all. It don't bother
Yeah.
me. But it's
As
just
soon as we step off the in between the
yeah.
lines, like dude, it's like it never even happened.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
for
if
like
you
5 or 10 minutes.
if we can get the audio from that All-Star game of me and Rogers going back and forth, that'd be great.
Yikes. Censor your ears, kids, because it is fantastic. You can hear it on the YouTube. But if you're young, don't listen. No, it's I personally think it's hilarious and I absolutely love it. That's one of my favorite things about that All-Star game was just the friendly banter back and forth.
Yeah. You can hear on
Uh,
one where I said that's pretty embarrassing. He said something like that's pretty embarrassing. The next pitch, I hit a home run.
yeah, exactly. Oh
So,
man. Andrew, man, I really appreciate you hopping on here with us. I'm really excited to see what the Thunderbirds look like after this draft in a couple weeks. Um, Adam, you got anything that you want for Andrew here?
Yeah, I just want to welcome to the captain's group. We're happy to have you.
Hey,
Looking
yo.
forward to see what team you can build and play against you next year. Really excited.
didn't really have a choice to become a captain. Rogers came up to me after the game with the dingers and said, "Hey, you're being a captain."
There you go.
Yeah, Josh didn't want me and Andrew running it back, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little scared. It's fine.
Nah, it's all right. You're a perfect fit to be a captain, and I couldn't be more excited to see, how you guys end up and how you do throughout the season, and I'll still be helping out, so it'll be
Oh,
fun to
yeah.
watch. But Andrew, man, anything else? Anything else you got for everybody?
I got nothing, boys. Thanks for having me on. It was a
All
blast.
right. No,
course.
man. Thank you, and we will see you here very soon, man. I can't wait.
See you, boys.
Thanks,
See ya.
man.
Thanks.
All right, we want to thank Andrew again. A great interview with him. Adam, I want to thank you, man, for or I don't know the right word. Dodging the wrench in our plans. That Missouri is thrown at us, and having to come up with some more topics here that we weren't really prepared for. But we got to talk a lot about the draft, so really love that. So thanks again, man, for helping out and coming up with some ideas and helping me out. Anything you want to say here before we sign off?
Nope, for sure. I just want to thank Andrew for coming on. It was another great interview. Got to learn about another one of our new captains for the league, and really excited to let everybody learn about him and learn about the new team that's coming along. So,
Yep,
it's a great interview
exactly,
overall.
man. It is always fun. We talked about this. We probably won't have a guest on every episode, once the season starts, but we do have a couple good things planned. I think we have a really good ideas, a couple of really good ideas for how we kind of want this show to go throughout the season. So very excited, looking forward to it, man. And a lot of those ideas coming from you. I think we're a great team, working this out. So just thank you again. And, if you haven't, make sure you go check out our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Give those pages each a like, subscribe. Our YouTube definitely, because our draft video is going to be special. So make sure you're, subscribe and you get those notifications. So when that draft comes out, it's going to be, you'll be able to see it, and we'll be posting about it all over social media. So go check that out. Make sure you see all of our social media posts and give those a like and a share if you can. And we just want to thank everybody else for listening. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks for our draft. Everybody, let's go. I'm excited.
Let's go.
All right, baby. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks again. See you.
Peace.